taxation, unemployment insurance, and the direct election of our senators. We gave America progressive reformers like Doug LaFollette, Gaylord Nelson, Russ Feingold, and Tammy Baldwin. We invested in education to ensure that the University of Wisconsin system serves as a beacon for young people, both in-state and across the country. The Wisconsin idea shows us that a commitment to improving life for middle-class families isn't just a progressive or democratic value, but a Wisconsin value. That's why it's so telling that Governor Scott Walker tried to remove it from our university mission. Over the last few years, politicians like Scott Walker and Ron Johnson have betrayed the Wisconsin idea and attempted to dismantle the progress of the past century. The class of 2016 sees their path to success blocked by mountains of student debt. We face an uncertain future in an economy that puts wealthy special interests above middle-class families such as my own. Scott Walker signed anti-union legislation that lowered wages for working Wisconsinites, restricted reproductive health care access for thousands of women, and slashed vital state programs. He passed a budget that gutted our world-class university system and refused to make college more affordable for middle-class Wisconsinites. After a failed presidential campaign, he talked about running for another term in 2016, and we have to stop him. In the meantime, Senator Ron Johnson has allied himself with the most extreme wing of the Tea Party, putting far-right special interests ahead of the needs of Wisconsinites. He called the scientific fact of climate change, quote-unquote, lunacy, opposes increasing the minimum wage, and voted against every single common measure to reduce the burden of student debt. But there's a bigger elephant in the room, and he goes by the name of Donald Trump. A lot has been said about him already at this convention, but I cannot think of anything scarier than saying President Trump. He's a threat to our economy, our security, and the progress we've made over the past 8 years with President Obama. Thankfully, young people are rejecting him too, and his support among young voters is historically low. Our generation faces record student debt, income inequality, climate change, and continued discrimination against women, people of color, and LGBT Americans. We require leadership that embodies the Wisconsin idea and remains committed to moving the state forward.
And I'm not going to go through the litany of issues. You heard about them last night, already this morning. You heard about the things that they've done, from insult to women, insult to the environment, insult to educators, insult to voters. Where else do I have to go? And changing the subject to a more humorous comment, how can any sane person say anything about our other party's presidential circus? It's good for us, and we're going to win the presidents because of that. I have some thoughts about some of the mistakes that Democrats have made over the years, and some of the ideas as to what we should be doing to take back control of our state. I only have 3 minutes to talk, so I can't go into the details. Just the one thing that stands out in my mind, and I have survived this, the only Democrat to survive, 2 years ago and 6 years ago at the statewide level. The reason we have Walker, the reason we have, I can't say his name, the other senator at the moment who we're going to defeat, is because in off-presidential years, over 500,000 fewer people go vote. And the majority of those would vote Democratic and will vote Democratic this year and elect Russ Feingold. He was defeated 6 years ago because it was an all-presidential year. 2 years from now, I'm ahead of myself, we're going to have to really work our fannies off to make sure Tammy gets elected. Yeah. It's going to be an all We wouldn't have Walker if he had to run in presidential years.
Right.
We wouldn't have the most conservative attorney general you can imagine
Right.
if he had to run in presidential years. And we wouldn't have the absolute lunatic who's the state treasurer if he had to run in presidential years. So that's the biggest thing we have to do. At every county level, the university folks, we just heard a great talk from the college Democratic representative. We have to learn to work much harder in those all-presidential years.
Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. Impossible is nothing. Well, see, Democrats, this year is unlike any year we've ever seen because Donald Trump is running for president. In the presidential primary, in the 5th congressional district, the 5th CD voted against Donald Trump with a vengeance. He failed to receive more than 34% of the vote in any county in my district. That's right. If there was ever a year to take back Republican seats, 2016 is it. No, I'm not a career politician. I'm a successful businessman with over 20 years with over 20 years in the commercial roofing industry. I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I'm an advocate for common sense. Now this race is about fighting for our community, about giving a new voice to the 5th CD. I have hope from supporters nationwide. My advocacy work for common sense gun safety policy has earned me crucial name recognition. It has earned me grassroots support from a series of well-organized advocacy groups from across the nation. And
another opportunity that we have is clean energy. And this is essential. We know that solar is a great job creator in production and installation with good clean energy jobs. And we also know that it takes us out of the dead end of fossil fuel dependence. And that's what we have to do. And then finally, clean water. We will bring all of the people and everyone who is working on making sure that we have clean water to the table, to the coalition, because we can't mess with water. It's as simple as that. We need it for our human health, and we need it for our ecosystem.
For allowing this event to occur here. And I wanted to start out by saying I'm extremely proud to be a Democrat. During primaries, it's easy to get a lot of tension and to get mad at each other and to kind of lose sight of what our party is. But the fact is, the Democratic Party is the only organization that is fighting so that all workers can have a living wage, because we believe all work has dignity. We're the only party that's fighting for equal rights and pay for women. Enough is enough. Women deserve to have equality too. And we definitely need to stay out of their doctor's office. I'm proud to be a Democrat because we are fighting to protect and expand Social Security and Medicare. These are promises to the American people, and they must be kept. They cannot be privatized. The Democratic Party has been fighting tirelessly for access to affordable health care for all citizens. Again, this is a right, not a privilege. We need to continue that fight. Centers begging for money for people that are not in their district. Sean Duffy has $1.5 million in the bank. 50% of his time at least was spent asking for money from people who do not live in the 7th Congressional District of Wisconsin. Democrats are stuck doing this too. So who do you think we represent when we've gotten all this money in D.C.? Who do you think we're voting for? That has to change, and I can tell you how it's going to change. It's going to change with everybody I see in this room. The people who have the money are the minority. Okay, they're the 1%. We are the people and we have the power. We're the 99%. And we can take this back by putting our boots on the ground and giving what we can to candidates that we believe in.
I was actually told by someone that the word Democrat should be done away with. It should be replaced with the word progressive. Now, I'm not personally sure how I feel about that, but wherever you are, if you are a Democrat, if you are a progressive, but if you are in a foxhole, if you are in a fight, you take the greatest with you. If you are committed to change and believe in progressive values, Martha Love is for you. If you want someone who respects your opinions, fights for diversity and inclusion, believes that even in the Democratic Party, the playing field should be level, Martha Love is for you.
She has the right name, everybody. She does. Her last name means a lot, love. Martha loves her state. She loves her party. And I hope that you show Martha some love by voting for her for the Democratic National Committee. Look in those bags. Do it right now. Look in your bag.
Proud Democrat. A proud Democrat for a number of years. I accept the nomination for re-election back to the Democratic National Committee. I would love to have your support, but standing here is just not for me. I want you to think about the children in the state of Wisconsin. In 72 counties, we have what you call slavery of our children. They're being bought and sold through human trafficking. Please vote for Martha Love. Help me. Help me save our youth. Help me with the outreach so everyone is aware Wisconsin is the hub to train pimps to enslave our children. Vote Martha Love. I will continue to work as hard as I have always worked as a proud Democrat. Thank you so much for your attention.
To give them that voice gives the Democratic Party the power we need. We have amazing candidates running, but like Senator Sanders says, no president, no senator, no alderman, no representative can do it without the support of the citizens. And here in Wisconsin, the citizens are hardworking. We've got dirt under our nails. We have got grease on our elbows. We are strong and we are united. And I'd like to be that conduit that brings the citizens into the party. This election cycle has brought so much enthusiasm and so much support. And we in Wisconsin, we know that Donald Trump is Scott Walker on steroids. The values that Wisconsin always has. We are historically a state where the citizens are part of the governing. We work best when we get the citizens involved. And that is my contribution. That is what I'd like to contribute to the National Party. I would like to get that engagement, grasp that in energy and bring them into the party. Now, I've heard so many citizens saying, you know what, after this, I'm done with the parties. You can't tell the difference between the two. There is a world of difference between the Democrats and the Republicans.
And a member and very active in the local Democratic Party, Brown County, Democratic Brown Party. And long before I was a member, Jamie Shiner was a member of the party. And Jamie Shiner was not only a member of the party, she was a very active member of the party. She's been involved in the Brown County Admin Board. She's been involved locally and all over the state.
It's my
my life partner and my best friend, so I am very proud to second her nomination.
Democrats of Wisconsin, once again I stand before you at a convention asking you to vote for me for an office. And I am so proud to stand before each and every one of you. My name is David Shiner. I live in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I'm a 44-year retired member of the International Union of Operating Engineers and damn proud of it. On negotiations for a contract for the operating engineers. And I will always support organized labor and a good middle class because this country needs them real bad. For many years, I have been a great environmentalist because I have seen what's been done to the environment around the mining area of the UP. And it is absolutely appalling. Some of the great pristine territory up there has been completely buried under tailing basins and open pit mines. And I almost feel slightly bad about some of the work I did, but it was work. We needed it for our families. In 2004, I became totally disillusioned with my gender. I transitioned, changed my IDs to female from male. And in 2005, moved to Green Bay to find peace. I swore I'd never touch politics again because I'd been working in the UP since 1984. My cousin's husband, Brett Stupak, was U.S. Congressman up there for 20 years, and I'm one of the people that helped keep him in office.
Related to our civil rights. She brings that same dedication to her volunteer work with the Democratic Party of Wisconsin. Democracy is in her blood. And that is why I am pleased to nominate Kristen Hansen as a member of our state's Democratic National Committee delegation.
Good morning, Wisconsin Democrats. I'm Chris Rockwood, candidate for State Assembly in the 14th District. I proudly second the nomination of Kristen Hansen to represent Wisconsin on the DNC. Kristen believes that our party needs to recruit and support good candidates everywhere, even in the most difficult districts. And I happen to live in such districts at the state and federal levels. I've run once before against Representative Dale Quenga in the same gerrymandered assembly district, and I've also run for Congress in the 5th CD, the most difficult congressional district in our state. I couldn't have run that congressional race without the support of Kristen, who understands that election results don't simply flow downhill from the top of the ticket.
Waukesha, but I am now. I know the jokes, believe me. I've heard them all already this weekend. But here's the thing. Waukesha County provides the 3rd largest number of Democratic votes in the state, after Milwaukee and Madison. So you need us, and we need you. Every single time there's a statewide election, look at Waukesha County. If we get out more than 30% of the votes for Democrats, we will win statewide. That's why our county is crucial. But more important than that, the majority of the votes in this state for statewide elections actually come from the red districts, Yes, we've got to get out the vote in Dane County. We've got to get out the reliable vote in Milwaukee County. But the rest of the state is what pulls us through. We can never forget that. And I want to sit on the DNC so that I can bring those resources and ideas back to Wisconsin and make sure that we lock in Wisconsin as a blue state every single presidential and Senate election. We also need to live up to our name. We are Democrats. We should have the most fair, open, and accessible elections in the country. We should have elections that are easy to explain to people. And I'm talking party elections as well as primaries, any kind of election. In my work, as I travel all around the state and talk about civil liberties and civil rights, I often give little programs about voting rights. I did one of those at Alverno College a few weeks ago. Steps. We have to nominate candidates who will inspire every single voter, including the 1 million adults over the age of 18 in this state who do not vote at all. There are 1 million people out there, folks. We've got to go get them and make them lifelong Democrats. Did you love Curly Pennybaker this morning? I recruited him. I recruited Chris. I will continue to recruit the most fantastic candidates I can find. I don't care how red the area is. I want awesome people for you guys to work for and vote for. And finally, we have an issue, obviously, this year. Donald Trump is actually the nominee for the Republican Party. No one thought this was possible. But I will quote a better president than that, Bill Clinton, who said, every presidential election, Democrats want to fall in love, Republicans just fall in line. I know that we still love each other. We need a little marriage counseling, but we don't need a divorce. We just need to work together to defeat Donald Trump. Please send me to the DNC and let me bring those resources back to you.
Environment and education and concerns that we have, I'm so happy to be able to nominate Janet Bewley for a position on the Democratic National Committee, and I hope you stand with me as well in getting her elected. Miigwech.
Hello everyone, it is with great pride and honor I stand before you from the southern shores of the Great Gitchigumi to second the nomination of Janet Bewley, our senator, and I am so excited to share her with Wisconsin because she represents us in a way, at a level, that epitomizes what we need from our representatives. She's at our county meetings. She is always available to answer questions, and at the end of the day, she is a champion for the causes that define the Democratic Party. She fought for us against Act 10. She was at all of the protests and was a true champion for everyone. She is genuine, and I humbly, and with, again, great pride, ask you to vote Janet Bewley for the DNC. Thank you.
My name is Janet Bewley, and I am so proud to represent not only the great rural areas of Wisconsin, but all of Wisconsin in accepting the nomination for DNC. I want to tell you quite proudly, that I have come from a pretty gritty background in Cleveland, Ohio, but I have very, very proudly adopted Wisconsin since I came here in 1977, do the math, and this is my home. One of the most important things about what we have in front of us is harnessing the diversity, the strength, the dedication of all of you, of the entire state, in defeating Donald Trump, in electing Russ Feingold, and getting all of those wonderful candidates that you heard before winning. It's about winning. And in order to do that, I need you, and you need representation on the DNC. Now we have amazing people that are running for this. Isn't it fabulous that we have people that are excited about serving on the DNC? But I want to tell you why it's important.
Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. Impossible is nothing. But see, Democrats, this year is unlike any year we've ever seen because Donald Trump is running for president. In the presidential primary, in the 5th congressional district, the fifth CD voted against Donald Trump with a vengeance. He failed to receive more than 34% of the vote in any county in my district. That's right. If there was ever a year to take back Republican seats, 2016 is it. Now, I'm not a career politician. I'm a successful businessman with over 20 years with over 20 years in the commercial roofing industry. I'm a father. I'm a husband, and I'm an advocate for common sense. Now this race is about fighting for our community, about giving a new voice to the fifth CD. I have help from supporters nationwide. And my advocacy work for common sense gun safety policy has earned me crucial name recognition. It has earned me grassroots support from a series of well-organized advocacy groups from across the nation. And it is
labor, and he will fight for us and for every man and woman and hard worker in this country. Gary has represented our values and will continue to do so at the DNC. He'll open the doors of our party to everyone. He'll take your phone calls, he'll fight for you, and most importantly, he'll make us proud like he's already made the Portage County Democrats so proud. Thank you.
My name is Matthew LaRange, and I second the nomination of Gary Hawley. I am a national delegate for Bernie Sanders, and I support Gary, and I hope you do as well. Gary has reached out to me and helped in every way possible, opening the door of the Democratic Party to all those interested in further engagement. Gary prioritizes unity above all else. Through his teachings and references, I have brought many Berniecrats into the party. He understands that to make changes, one must do it from the inside. Regardless of who we support, he is the man who brings people together. Gary is the embodiment of unite, vote, and win. So Gary holds close to his heart true democratic ideals and will work with anyone, regardless of who they support, to strengthen our shared efforts. Gary will represent all of us with honor. He will listen to our concerns and help us with the solutions needed. If he doesn't have an answer, he will work tirelessly to find it or someone who will. We need more people like Gary, more than ever. I ask you to stand behind Gary Hawley. He will build a party we can all be proud of. Thank you.
Good morning, delegates, alternates, and guests. Good morning. It's almost noon. I want to thank you, Representative Shanklin and Matthews, and of course, you people for being here today. I'm truly honored to be nominated for the DNC, and we all know that there's a tremendous amount of work ahead of us, hard work ahead of us, in both the state and national. And I'd like to emphasize, make that the basic of everything I do, and I still got some cookies left. I'd like to talk to people I haven't talked to left. Stop and have a cookie, and then vote for Hawley for DNC. Thank you.
And we had a series of very powerful speakers about the violence that occurred that day and how we're going to work to try and bring an end to this violence that occurs far too often in this country. And that was the first time that I met my friend Brian Kennedy, who was there as a school board member in Glendale, speaking on how occurrences like this affect children on a daily basis and how important it is for all of us to stand up against it. And the speech he gave that day actually inspired me to run for a school board in my own district in Greenfield, which I was elected to that April. And through that work, I got to know Brian as an advocate for children, not just in his district, but all the districts across the state, as a member of the Delegate Assembly for the Wisconsin Association of School Boards. So time and again, when an issue would come up and we had debate on the floor, Brian was always at the microphone saying the things that needed to be said on behalf of the people he was representing.
And another opportunity that we have is clean energy. And this is essential. We know that solar is a great job creator in production and installation with good clean energy jobs. And we also know that it takes us out of the dead end of fossil fuel dependence. And that's what we have to do. And then finally, clean water. We will bring all of the people and everyone who is working on making sure that we have clean water to the table, to the coalition, because we can't mess with water. It's as simple as that. We need it for our human health, and we need it for our ecosystem.
Kennedy. I first met him in 2010 when I ran for the state assembly, and I was so impressed, not just with his knowledge, but his ability to listen, to hear what was happening on the ground. And then, a few short months later, the bomb was dropped. And who was there every single day was Brian Kennedy. He not only organized labor unions, leaders, and grassroots activists, he kept in contact with both state and local officials, explaining over and over again the importance of collective bargaining. I am so proud that Brian is running today, and I urge you to vote for him when this is over. You will not be disappointed. Brian stands for working people, everyday Wisconsinites, and I can't wait to send him to the DNC. Please join me in doing so. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. Show me what democracy looks like. Fantastic. Well, my brothers and sisters, I am a Democrat. I'm a proud Democrat. There is no other party that stands up for everyday people but the Democratic Party. The coalition of voices that we have in this room is what makes our party strong. You know, Diane referenced the protests in 2011. You know, since 2011, the blue fist has been the symbol of the Wisconsin AFL-CIO and of working families here in the state. Do you know why that fist is important, though? Each of us individually can be picked off. Our voices can be silenced. But when we stand together, when we stand united, we have power and we have strength.
Good morning, Democrats. My name is Randy Bryce. I've been a union member for 20 plus years. I'm also a U.S. Army veteran, chair of the Democratic Party Wisconsin Veteran Caucus.
Thank you, Randy!
Being deeply involved with both of those causes, any person that I give my support to will also need to prove that they support those causes. As someone who spoke at a Bernie Sanders rally earlier in Milwaukee, I can say that I'm proud to see that I joined supporters that support Hillary and Bernie that are on Jason's support list. It has to do with trust. Jason has proven with this experience, not just in leadership as a current DNC Executive Committee member, but in all that he does, that he takes a good idea on the Wisconsin level and he makes it shine on a national level. It is an honor and quite the privilege to nominate Jason Ray for re-election to the DNC.
Hello, my name is Marcia Steele. I'm chair of the Winnebago County Democratic Party. When Jason asked me to second his nominations, I did not hesitate. I'm here this morning asking you to vote for Jason, the person I believe is the best candidate to represent Wisconsin on the Democratic National Committee. Jason has many accomplishments, but what convinced me to endorse him is the fact that what Jason does is not about Jason. It is about Wisconsin. Always will fight for the values that everyone in this room believes in. I am proud to join more than 40 county chairs across Wisconsin in supporting Jason Ray. Thus, I second the motion to nominate Jason Ray to the Democratic National Committee. Thank you.
Good morning, fellow Democrats. And thank you to Marshall for your kind words and your support, and to all of you for being here. Many of you know my story. For more than a decade, I've served our party at every level. From being the vice chair of the Barron County Democrats, to chair of the state's Platform and Resolutions Committee, to College Dems chair, and thanks to the support of so many of you a few years ago, as your member to the Democratic National Committee. My roots in this party are strong, as are my values. I stood up for raising the minimum wage and against right to work. I fought for marriage equality and been an advocate for the right of every woman to have access to safe abortions. I've battled for quality health care, and I've been steadfast in my support of our brothers and sisters in organized labor. As your member to the DNC, in addition to fighting on these issues, I fought for grassroots access to our party. By traveling the state, sending out reports, communicating with members, I made sure that the DNC is accessible to party members everywhere.
For allowing this event to occur here. And I wanted to start out by saying I'm extremely proud to be a Democrat. During primaries, it's easy to get a lot of tension and to get mad at each other and to kind of lose sight of what our party is. But the fact is, the Democratic Party is the only organization that is fighting so that all workers can have a living wage, because we believe all work has dignity. We're the only party that's fighting for equal rights and pay for women. Enough is enough. Women deserve to have equality too. And we definitely need to stay out of the doctor's office. I'm proud to be a Democrat because we are fighting to protect and expand Social Security and Medicare. These are promises to the American people, and they must be kept. They cannot be privatized. The Democratic Party has been fighting tirelessly for access to affordable health care for all citizens. Again, this is a right, not a privilege. We need to continue that fight.
Hard to believe it was 10 years ago, but he helped me as a rookie candidate in 2006. I had no money, no name recognition, and never run for public office, and nobody in Madison said we could win, and we figured out a way to do it. Andrew knows how to win in places where we need to win as Democrats. Plus, he likes chickens. I am very proud to put Andrew Worthman's name in nomination for the Democratic National Committee representative from Wisconsin. Thank you.
Hello, Democrats. My name is Eric Genrich. I'm the state representative from the 90th Assembly District here in Green Bay. I am incredibly honored to second Andrew's nomination to the DNC. I've known Andrew for 10 years, since Senator Weinhaut's first race for Senate. Andrew was in the fight before that race, and he's been in it since. I'm supporting Andrew not necessarily because of who he supports for president. I'm supporting his candidacy because of who he is, because of the Democratic Party he believes in. Andrew is optimistic. He is idealistic. He is committed to making the Democratic Party the fighting force for progressive change we know it can be. Thank you so much. Please join me in supporting Andrew for DNC.
Friends, we are all here today because we want to see a politics that lifts everyone up, that helps people in need, that truly works to improve people's lives. I come from a farming family. We actually moved from the hills of Pennsylvania to the hills of Wisconsin when I was 10. I grew up pretty poor. I remember my dad oftentimes taking out his rifle to go hunting just because we needed extra food on the table. My mom would grow vegetables throughout the summer, and we'd have potatoes in the root cellar to get us through the winter. The first time that I realized how politics can make a difference in someone's life, my dad developed a back condition. The vertebrae in his back started fusing up one by one. And he went to the doctor, who said that there was actually no cure. But there was nothing he could do except for to keep moving, to keep working hard. But the insurance companies found out. And they took advantage of my dad because of that. And they ended up charging him $1,200 every single month because of his pre-existing condition. Something he couldn't even make a claim on. My mother, in her own way, had challenges growing up. She had a reading disability and didn't finish high school. And yet, when she was 30, she went back to studying. Late at night, she pored over the books and took the exams and earned her GED. One of the absolute most inspiring things. Friends, we have a long ways to go. But it's because of the work that we've done over the last 8 years that I'm proud to say that my dad now can afford health insurance under Obamacare. My mother actually was able to go back to the University of River Falls and earn credits in English because of a grant and a drive to want to learn and to succeed. And it's because of all of us that that was able to.
Senators begging for money from people that are not in their district. Sean Duffy has $1.5 million in the bank. 50% of his time at least was spent asking for money from people who do not live in the 7th Congressional District of Wisconsin. Democrats are stuck doing this too. So who do you think we represent when we've gotten all this money in D.C.? Who do you think we're voting for? That has to change, and I can tell you how it's going to change. It's going to change with everybody I see in this room. The people who have the money are the minority. Okay, they're the 1%. We are the people and we have the power. We're the 99%, and we can take this back by putting our boots on the ground and giving what we can to candidates that we believe in.
I'm learning a lot from everybody. I'm here standing in front of you to nominate Jake Burns to the DNC as a member to the DNC from the state of Wisconsin. I met Jake about a year ago and at a rally in Appleton where a bunch of people got together in support of Bernie Sanders. And I met him then, and in Northeast Wisconsin we've been feeling the burn for a while. What I found out was at that time was that these people, all these new people that I met, are really in support of our democracy. They're inclusive people, and I believe that's what the Democratic Party stands for. I joined the Democratic Party a little over 2 weeks ago, and I encouraged a lot of people to also join. We had a bet going, this guy here, that if I could get a communist to join the Democratic Party, that he would join. The communist is in this room, and so is he. So we want to see change happen, and we want to respect.
My name is Vincent Ostrike, and I'm from Allegheny County, and I second the nomination for Jake Burns. I second this nomination because I've watched Jake Burns in the matter of one semester organize and put in work in our college campus for the Bernie Sanders campaign. He's worked endlessly, and he's brought so many people together in support of Bernie Sanders and also the Democratic Party. You're Sharon. If it weren't for Sharon and Jake, I would not be here today, and I probably would not be a member of the Democratic Party. I joined a little over 2 weeks ago as well. I second this nomination because I believe Jake has a power to bring people together and really fight for change and, make things happen. So here he is.
How's it going, folks? This is the first time I've ever run for anything other than treasurer of the UW Fox Valley, so it's a pretty exciting moment. It's the first convention I've ever been to, so this is an exciting moment for me as well. Since most of you have never heard of me, let me just give you a little bit of where I come from. That's all I'm really bringing here. I don't have cookies. I don't have flyers. All I have is my experiences. So I was born. I'm Jake Burns, by the way. I was born on the south side of Milwaukee. Hey, yeah. To two wonderful parents, Mike and Mary Burns. My father is here, Mike Burns. He just joined too, so this is his. He just joined 2 weeks ago too, so we're very happy people are here.
I was actually told by someone that the word Democrat should be done away with. It should be replaced with the word progressive. Now, I'm not personally sure how I feel about that, but wherever you are, if you are a Democrat, if you are a progressive, but if you are in a foxhole, if you are in a fight, you take the greatest with you. If you are committed to change and believe in progressive values, Martha Love is for you. If you want someone who respects your opinions, fights for diversity and inclusion, believes that even in the Democratic Party, the playing field should be level, Martha Love is for you.
My name is George Farrader, Democrat from Columbia County. I'm currently a candidate for State Assembly in District 42. And I'm here to place the name of Eric Quam as a candidate for membership to the DNC. Eric is an activist. He's a strong Democrat, and he represents a voice for the future with respect to our party.
She has the right name, everybody. She does. Her last name means a lot. Love. Martha loves her state. She loves her party. And I hope that you show Martha some love by voting for her for the Democratic National Committee. Look in those bags. Do it right now. Look in your bag.
Union for 8.5 years in the 80s and early 90s. I also worked in Oscar Mayer and was a union steward for 5 years there. I also campaigned, canvassed and contributed to Barack Obama's first campaign and his second campaign. And I was contributed enough to actually go to one of his speeches in Milwaukee, and standing in the line, I happened to stand next to somebody, and you're talking to them, and come to find out, the lady standing next to me, she said, I work at Tammy Baldwin's office. I'm her assistant. Her name was Samantha. That was in 2012. We went in, Barack Obama gave his speech, and he came down and shook hands, and I was able to shake his hand. And that was a great day.
Proud Democrat, a proud Democrat for a number of years. I accept the nomination for re-election back to the Democratic National Committee. I would love to have your support, but standing here is just not for me. I want you to think about the children in the state of Wisconsin. In 72 counties, we have what you call slavery of our children. They're being bought and sold through human trafficking. Please vote for Martha Love. Help me save our youth. Help me with the outreach so everyone is aware Wisconsin is the hub to train pimps to enslave our children. Vote Martha Love. I will continue to work as hard as I have always worked as a proud Democrat. Thank you so much for your attention.
I was a follower of the Tom Hartman show, which I recommend a lot of people, if you can, listen to that, watch it. He's got a lot of good insight, and he had the Bernie brunch on there until Bernie decided to run for office. I said, if Bernie ever runs, I want to give him my full support. I campaigned I canvassed for him in Iowa.
To give them that voice gives the Democratic Party the power we need. We have amazing candidates running, but like Senator Sanders says, no president, no senator, no alderman, no representative can do it without the support of the citizens. And here in Wisconsin, the citizens are hardworking. We've got dirt under our nails. We have got grease on our elbows. We are strong and we are united. And I'd like to be that conduit that brings the citizens into the party. This election cycle has brought so much enthusiasm and so much support. And we in Wisconsin, we know that Donald Trump is Scott Walker on steroids. The values that Wisconsin always has. We are historically a state where the citizens are part of the governing. We work best when we get the citizens involved. And that is my contribution. That is what I'd like to contribute to the National Party. I would like to get that engagement, grasp that in energy and bring them into the party. Now, I've heard so many citizens saying, you know what, after this, I'm done with the parties. You can't tell the difference between the two. There is a world of difference between the Democrats and the Republicans.
College does, and has worked tirelessly for our county as vice chair. He will do the same as your DNC representative. He has the drive and skills necessary to build the future of our party. I'm proud to nominate Michael O'Connell for the DNC.
I'm Steve Dolder. I'm treasurer of the Walworth County Democratic Party. I have something here that some of us old people have problems with. I guess I shouldn't call myself an old person, an experienced Democrat. This is a smartphone. And a lot of us have problems with understanding the new technology. And one of the things that Mike has brought to us, which I see a lot of young people here, which is great. Mike has helped us with the new technology. It helps us understand the smartphone technology and has helped us a great deal. We are now setting up a permanent office in Walworth County. We will have a grand opening next Saturday. Join us, it would be great. And for this reason, Mike has been a great help in getting.
First off, I'd like to thank everybody for the support and the nomination and even considering me running for the DNC. With all that being said, this being my first convention and kind of my first run at it, I will respectfully decline the nomination. I kind of want to give you guys a couple of reasons why. I've met a lot of great, fantastic people, and I've heard a lot of great ideas. And I just feel like I'm not the best fit for this position currently. I'll give you guys a little.
A member and very active in the local Democratic Party, Brown County, Democratic Brown County. And long before I was a member, Jamie Shiner was a member of the party. And Jamie Shiner was not only a member of the party, she was a very active member of the party. She's been involved in the Brown County Admin Board. She's been involved locally and all over the state